Hello!
And welcome
to Nightmare Nation,
the paranormal-themed podcast where we talk about haunted places around the world.
And scary things.
And demons.
And ghosts.
And witches.
And seances.
And cults.
And UFOs.
And serial killers sometimes.
And penitentiaries.
Yes, indeed. Penitentiaries. It's where this all began way back in episode 1.
That Eastern State Penitentiary.
And we're going to circle all the way back to
Circle
another
in!
one. Just a big, giant fucking roundabout.
360.
The biggest 360. It's more like a 720.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's so big.
So big.
You had to go around twice.
That's what she said.
Oh,
okay. Said it.
Anna's in middle school.
Here it is. Yes, I am.
Hey, that's Anna.
Well, hey, what's up? I'm Anna.
And I'm Annie.
That's us.
Boom.
We're your podcast hosts.
I even know my name, and I remembered to say it.
Aw, man.
Jazzed about it.
Look at that.
Oh.
That fucking 50 seconds. That's like
record time.
Aside from probably our first episode, we're like, hi, I'm Anna.
I don't know what we're doing. We're
this
awkward.
This is super fun.
We're really quiet
we
and
really like this.
Oh.
And now we just don't give a shit.
Yeah, sorry guys. I feel like we hit a nice little stride there in like the teens and 20s where we like were sort of attempting to be like somewhat put together and not as nervous as when we first started. And then it's all just been a giant roller coaster from there.
You just never know what you're going to get week to week.
You really don't.
You know, it's just a good time.
Well, and there may or may not be a direct correlation to how many beverages have been consumed before recording. I hate to say it, but
tonight's beverage is water.
Correct.
We are being healthy as shit tonight.
Yes, we are.
I've got my giant half-gallon jug.
Yeah, where did you get that?
Online.
It's freaking huge.
It's called Hydro Jug. Not a sponsor, because nobody fucking sponsors us.
Ain't that the truth? No one pays us.
So if you guys have a brand out there and you want a fucking sponsor,
you want free advertising for all the small audience that listens to us, let us know.
We're here for you. We will advertise the
free.
shit out of your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is 73 ounces.
That's just so huge. It's the biggest water bottle I've ever seen.
It's pretty great. I drink 2 of these a day.
I buy like gallons of milk in containers smaller than that.
Do you want to know how many times I pee in a day?
Like 8 billion?
About 8 trillion million in an hour. I'm just constantly in the bathroom. But I'm fucking hydrated as shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm never not peeing. Mm-hmm. It's just like one perpetual state of peeing forever. Yeah. Because I drink so much water.
Yep. And it's the worst.
Yeah.
And now that I'm drinking so much, I have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to pee.
Uh-oh.
And it's just stupid because then I'm up at 4.
You gotta limit your intake before bedtime.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Try to.
Your poor bladder just can't handle it.
It just can't. Like, I have the littlest baby bladder, and it's the worst.
In college, I swear I never drank water at all. I would have like 2 sips from the drinking fountain a day, and I was like completely fine. And I don't know how I like literally didn't die.
Yep.
I don't understand.
I need all of my water every single day.
I'm so thirsty all the time. I'm always
in a
thirsty.
Perpetual state of thirst.
And also peeing. It's just thirst peeing all day, every day. That's what you guys came here to listen to?
Yeah, listen about,
hear about. Words.
That's what we're here to tell you about.
You're welcome for
exactly
that
what you
lovely mental image.
Yeah, it's the best.
So what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, I was going to tell you about this weird-ass movie we saw.
Oh, what'd you watch?
It's Vivarium.
I don't like that name.
And it wasn't really a horror. It was more of like a mystery sort of thriller sort of situation about this young couple who they're all cute and everything's great and they're looking for homes, and they walk into this real estate office and there's this creepy ass robot freaking motherfucking looking dude who is behind the counter like saying all these perfectly normal things, but his eyes are like completely dead the whole time he's talking, and he's smiling way too hard, and he sounds like he's literally a programmed robot just like saying words, and there's something so unsettling about the way he's like smiling way too hard, and they're just like,
love my job
and
so
like,
much.
Okay, and they try to leave, and he's like, no, I have to come show you, like, the neighborhood is called Yonder, like, yonder is forever, let me show you. And so they follow him to this neighborhood.
Don't do it!
He leaves them in the house and, like, pieces out while they're looking at the house, and they can't leave. They try to drive out of the neighborhood, and they end up going in circles.
Oh,
they tried, like,
shit.
walking, following the sun, like, to try to, like, go at least one direction, and they end up back at the same house number, and they can't leave. And then a fucking baby shows up in a box, and attached to the box is a note that says, raise the child and be set free, or something like that. And they essentially come to accept that they cannot leave this neighborhood. They're stuck in this house forever, basically, and their only hope is to raise this child, which is not a normal human child. It is a creepy freaking, like, alien, like, it looks like a human, but all it does is parrot back things that they say to it, and it, like, pretends to be them, and when it's hungry, it just screams at the top of its lungs until it gets fed, and the second they put food down in front of it, it, like, stops screaming and, like, eats. And it's just this creepy-ass kid.
That's really weird.
That looks human but behaves nothing like a normal human. And it's about them trying to, like, raise this stupid thing and leave the neighborhood. And basically, I was bummed out at the end because eventually they both just died.
Oh.
And their kid, like, buries them in the yard and then goes on to become the next creepy real estate agent. And that was it. And I'm like,
that's dumb.
This was like a 2-hour investment of, like, what's going to happen to these people?
And then they just fucking die.
And then they get sick and, like, die.
That's dumb.
It was super strange and really creepy. And I realized just how creepy it is when you are watching something that looks human, that is acting human, but you can just tell something is wrong.
Uh-huh.
Like, you have that, like,
just makes you
just
so uncomfortable.
Gut kind of, like, goosebump feeling, like something, like, you're saying all the right words, but something about the way you're saying them is, like, very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
It was creepy.
That's really weird.
It was very strange.
Huh. Where'd you find this one?
Good question.
Oh.
I was about to say Netflix, and then I realized I couldn't remember. Have you seen anything good lately?
No, we did find, though, we have AMC Plus right now because we were watching season 10 of The Walking Dead.
Look at you.
And they have Jonestown. They have, like, a documentary, like an actual documentary talking to Jim Jones's family, like his sons, and, like, people who survived, and, like, the whole history of how he came about, and, like, the background of his supposed healings that he did.
Bullshit.
And everything. And it was super interesting. We watched episode 1, I think, and there's, like, 5 maybe. So it's like a small
mini-series.
Yeah. But it's so good, because I just find that one so fascinating.
We might have to do another cult special or something, because that's just...
I loved going over that one.
It was so fun.
Fascinated me for so long.
I mean, it's not fun. It's horrible.
Yes.
But so grotesquely fascinating.
Because it's just like, people just... How
and like,
do you just follow them?
Because they're psychopaths. They are charismatic liars. I mean, and because they go after the right people. They don't go after the people who are, like, financially and emotionally and physically comfortable and have nice, happy lives. They go for the people who are desperately looking for anything to make them feel
which is so
important.
Sad that they have to, like, prey on these people to
the people
try
have
and get
nothing better to live for, and they just want something to follow and believe in, and
it's disgusting.
Yeah. Ugh, it's craziness.
So don't be a cult.
Don't be a cult unless it's our cult.
Yeah. Unless you're part of the craft cocktail cult, then that's okay.
Our cult is the one true cult.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we let you come and go as you please.
Uh-huh. You don't even have to drink alcohol to be in our cult. You just have to listen to us talk about drinking alcohol.
Exactly. That's just what we do, okay?
We're the most accepting cult of all time.
Yeah. We accept everybody.
Yes.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Mm-hmm. We should do a mocktail one week for all the peeps out there who maybe don't want alcohol.
Yeah.
We can do a craft mocktail.
Craft mocktail malt. Ew. Gross.
Give you some malt recipes?
Yeah.
Or maybe just a virgin cocktail. We'll go with that.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So I feel like before we get started, we should let them know what's happening next week.
Oh, shit, you guys.
Because we haven't told them specifically what we're doing.
Yep.
And I feel like this is kind of a good lead-in to, you know, what we're doing next week.
I think so.
/ this week.
Yes, it's coming up in a few days for us. Depends on when you're listening to this episode, I guess. But we're doing an in-person paranormal overnight stay.
Hell yeah, we are.
At the Thayer Hotel.
Thayer Hotel.
In Annandale, Minnesota.
Fuck yeah.
It's like an hour from where we live. It's, I guess, real haunted.
Yeah. There's 2 rooms that are really haunted, and I chose the room that is the most haunted.
We're staying in a haunted room.
We're staying in it, and we are going to be recording our episode in said hotel in the room for your next podcast episode.
And the episode will be about the hotel.
Yes.
So you're going to literally hear us talking about the haunted as shit hotel from inside the hotel.
And we're going to shit our pants after hearing the haunted stories, knowing that we have to fucking sleep in that room that night.
Especially because I'm doing history.
Oh, God. So you're not going to know anything.
I'm not even going to know, Anna. You don't tell me until we record. And I'm going to have to sit there and hear this shit and for the first time.
Oh my God, how am I going to be able to sleep tonight?
How did I let you talk me into this?
Oh, this is going to be so great. And then we're going to hopefully, you know, talk to some of the workers there, see if they've experienced anything.
Yep.
Come up with some questions to ask them.
It's going to be good, you guys.
Yeah.
So that's happening for next week's episode. Stay tuned.
Woo! We're going on Friday.
Yep, we're finally
friggin' wait.
We're finally walking the talk and doing
yeah.
a paranormal sort of investigation.
Because it's just so close, and it's like, you know, why not? Let's just get away, have a girls' night in a haunted hotel. What is fucking better than that?
Well, that's the other thing is like we haven't had just a girls sleepover.
Yeah.
Or away from home. Either you stay at my place or I stay at your place. Like
exactly.
We haven't done a getaway weekend.
Yeah. It's gonna be a freaking party.
Can't wait,
friends. So
that was your sneak peek.
Get excited. That's what's happening next week.
Mm-hmm. So
that's what we're doing.
But what we're doing tonight is something different.
To get down to business. To your normal scheduled programming for this week. Also, okay, so we're going to Boise, Idaho tonight.
Yes, we are.
But I feel like it was either last episode or the episode before
where we were
talking
of Idaho?
about Idaho and how nothing's out there and how we didn't think that there was anything paranormal out there. And then I find this place and then I put the 2 and 2 together. I'm like, what?
What? It's almost like the internet wanted you to find that hotel. Or not hotel. That location.
I know.
Because we made that comment and now it just happened to miraculously appear. All right. Okay, so yes, we talked about Idaho not having anywhere, and now here we are.
And now here we are. So we're going to Idaho.
Here we is.
To Boise. To the Old Idaho Penitentiary.
Do they have a lot of potatoes there?
Yeah, they do.
That's all I know about Idaho.
They ate.
Literally.
Them Idahoan potatoes.
Idaho, Boise, potatoes. Those are my 3 pieces of knowledge about the state of Idaho, one of which is the name of the state itself.
Yep.
I'm so sorry for any of you listeners who may or may not be from Idaho.
Give us your knowledge and
Tell
history
us about
of your state.
Probably lovely state. I'm sure there's great things. I just don't know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably beautiful out there. So my sources are Wikipedia and thetravelchannel.com.
Nice.
So the Old Idaho Penitentiary State Historic Site was a functional prison from 1872 to 1973 in Boise, Idaho.
Wow, it was open until the 70s?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know. That's pretty crazy. So the first building, also known as the Territorial Prison, was constructed in the Territory of Idaho in 1870 because it wasn't a state then.
Oh, shit.
It was built 2 decades before Idaho became an actual state.
That's neat.
I know.
Cool. Where'd you get your shit together, Idaho?
Right? And then I wrote that sentence. I was like, who came up with the names for the states? And who created the borders? And why did we create borders?
I'm going to Google the origin of the name of Idaho. Idaho. I almost said Idaho.
Idaho.
Origin. Idaho is not a Native American word, contrary to popular belief. It was made up in the mid-1800s. Making up names like this was very common at the time.
Oh.
They essentially made it up, and seems like it was what they named the mines in the area. And some guy apparently made it up, and he told everyone it meant gem of the mountains, but it's a completely made up word.
Oh.
And they named the mines after it, and eventually the state became Idaho. So,
cool.
good one.
So just some random guy named it Idaho.
Yep.
All right.
Some dude from Colorado, I think.
Oh,
I skimmed the article very quickly. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so now that we know how Idaho got its name, the penitentiary began as a single cell house, which then grew into a complex of 7 distinctive buildings surrounded by a 17-foot sandstone wall, which the wall and the first prison were built by the prisoners. And the penitentiary was completed in 1872 and received its first 11 inmates from the Boise County Jail. And this building was then converted into a chapel in the 30s and was destroyed in a riot in 1973.
Oh, shit. I want to go to church in a converted prison.
Right?
That's so cool.
Like, the very first prison was converted into a chapel.
That's amazing.
Like, it was so weird.
I love it so much.
Right?
That is the ultimate, like, repurposing of, like, opposite
prison
things.
into chapel.
Love it.
So the new cell house was built between 1889 and 1890 and consisted of 3 tiers of 42 steel cells. And the third tier was closest to the Rose Garden, which was death row. So the Rose Garden was once used to execute prisoners by hanging, and there were 6 out of 10 executions that were done in that location.
I'm assuming it wasn't actually a rose garden. That's just what they called it.
It turned into, I believe, a garden after they shut those gallows down and created new gallows.
I see. Okay. All right.
So that was the first location.
Okay. Because I was, like, reading about that. I'm like, is that, like, a literal garden of rose bushes, or is it just the name of the place? Because I'm having a hard time picturing people hanging in a beautiful garden of roses. It's like there's something conflicting about those mental images.
Yup, exactly. So then the admin building was built between 1893 and 1894 and housed the warden's office, armory, visitation room, control room, and the turnkey area. The false front building, built between 1894 and 1895, held the commissary, dorms, barbershop, and hospital. And then the hospital was then converted into social services office, which burned down in a riot in 1971.
So many freaking riots!
I know,
Everyone
they were just done with their shit
in Idaho. Bunch of feisty motherfuckers.
But don't worry, they also had a dining hall that was burned down in the 1973 riot.
Oh my god. These people are so pissed.
Then we have Cell House 2, which was known as the North Wing, and contained 2-man cells, and get this, they were given a honey bucket to serve as their toilet because they didn't have running plumbing in the penitentiary.
Like what I'm picturing from Winnie the Pooh? Like a little honey pot?
Like a bucket, yes.
Oh.
Yep, they just peed and pooped in a bucket.
No wonder they rioted all the time.
Uh-huh.
I would too.
The conditions were awful, like every other penitentiary we've covered.
What in the hell? I cannot fathom living before plumbing.
No.
Can you imagine?
Disgusting. So thank you, whoever decided to invent indoor plumbing.
For real.
It's great.
You are nothing short of a savior of humanity. Like, goddamn.
Just really helped us.
Yeah. Big time.
But guess what? Cell House 2 was also burned down during the 1973 riot.
Did the entire place burn down between the years of 1971 and 73? Like,
pretty much.
Christ.
So then we also had Cell House 3, which was built the same as Cell House 2, and it was eventually condemned for habitation. Because everywhere else was just a terrible place to live.
Yep.
But then in 1921, it was converted into a shoe factory, and then in 1928 was remodeled for inmate occupancy, and became the first cell house with indoor plumbing.
Nice.
They finally got their shit together in 1928.
Way to go, buddies.
Right? So the women's ward dorms were built out of necessity. Prior to its completion, the women moved into the warden's old house in 1905. And before that, women did not have a separate quarters, and several scandals forced their relocation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to put women with men in a prison, like, shit's going to happen.
It's not going to be pretty.
No. There was the multi-purpose building, and it was built by the inmates and served as a shirt factory, shoe shop, bakery, license plate shop, laundry, hobby room, and loafing room. And it also housed the communal showers.
Oh, nice.
So everything in
one building.
I mean, it is called the multi-purpose building.
I mean,
so...
you want to grab a donut on your way to the shower? Just swing by the bakery.
That sounds perfect.
Eat it while you're bathing, and then go to the
loafing room.
The loafing room. What is that, like the lounge?
Like lounging, I'm assuming.
I want a loafing room in my house.
Right?
No, this isn't the family room. It's our loafing room.
It's our loafing room where we just come and chill.
Get it right.
And do nothing. Mm-hmm. Come on, people.
I love that.
They also had solitary confinement, which consisted of 2 sections. The first was built in the early 20s and was called the Cooler and contained 4 to 6 men per cell.
So not solitary
confinement at all.
I may not be good at math, but 4 to 6 is more than 1. So
that it is.
Uh-huh.
But then they had the second section, which was known as Siberia, and that one only held 1 inmate.
Oh, okay.
Cell.
All right.
So they had some sort of
actual
solitary confinement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Cell House 4, which was the largest and most modern cell house. Then Cell 5 was maximum security, where the most unruly and violent offenders stayed. The building also served as a permanent place of solitary confinement and includes a built-in gallows and death row.
Neat.
So it's quite a large penitentiary with all sorts of different places.
Did Al Capone stay in the maximum security?
Al Capone did not stay at this one, unfortunately.
He stayed at every freaking building in the
know.
country. He did a tour of the United States.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
He's just bouncing from prison to prison.
Mm-hmm.
So the penitentiary held up to 600 prisoners at one time. And, of course, the inmates suffered through inhumane conditions, like every other place. The sandstone that formed its walls was an inexpensive building material, which also intensified the temperatures inside the cells. So in the summers, the sandstone retained heat, creating a stifling oven effect. And then in the winter, the walls were bitter cold and chilling for the prisoners for months.
How pleasant.
Right? So you go from just a fucking oven to a cooler.
Nice.
Sounds terrible. There were also a number of notorious inmates who stayed here. One of the inmates was Raymond Allen Snowden, a man once dubbed as Idaho's Jack the Ripper.
Oh, shit.
Uh-huh. He was convicted of murder in 1956 and sentenced to death by hanging. He murdered Cora Dean, a local woman and mother of 2, during a scuffle after a night of drinking. Snowden claimed that he backhanded Cora, who kicked him, and Snowden snapped. He used a pocket knife and stabbed Cora 35 times.
Shit, dude.
Right?
Overkill?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, you have a rage issue.
Yeah.
35 fucking times. Dude.
Intense. And so before he was hanged, he confessed to killing 2 other women. And the night he was brought to the gallows, the noose failed to break his neck, and he struggled for 15 minutes before suffocating.
God, that's a long time.
Right?
I don't really feel bad for him, because he's obviously insane and evil, but yikes, that's a long time to be suffocating.
To sit there and just squirm, and you're alive during that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, thank you.
Yeah, that sounds pretty hideous.
Mm-hmm. So we also have another inmate who was Harry Orchard, who died in the prison walls in 1954. He confessed to many crimes done during his lifetime, including a career as a Union terrorist.
What?
That resulted in the loss of 17 lives, including that of the governor of Idaho.
Shit.
Uh-huh.
Like, was he like part of a bombing or something? Or
they didn't go into much detail as to how or what he did.
Jeez, that's
just
intense.
Going around killing people. But he was cross-examined for 26 hours.
That's too long.
Uh-huh.
That's a long time.
Uh-huh. Where he talked about all of his killings, bigamy, heavy drinking, compulsive gambling, and womanizing. So they decided that sentencing him to life in prison was better than putting him on death row. And he served 45 years in the prison and died there.
That's such a long time. That's crazy. Like, not that he didn't deserve it, but I'm just trying to picture living in a prison for 45 years.
I couldn't survive a day.
Oh, that's a long time.
It'd be terrible. Yeah. Just confined to small walls, a small cell, and you can't do anything.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You can make shirts or work in the bakery.
I'd rather work in the bakery.
Me too.
It'd be great.
Make bagels and donuts and shit.
Baked goods.
Delicious.
Sounds perfect. So like I said, proper plumbing wasn't in the prison until the 20s, which left an unpleasant condition and helped to spread diseases, and also was complicated by the prison's ill-working ventilation system. So because of these conditions, it pushed the inmates to their breaking points, and the guards answered with violence and more violence. So
are we leading up to the prison riot?
Yeah, we are.
Good. Okay.
So because of this, in 1971 and 1973, riots broke out in the prison. Prisoners burned the chapel and the dining hall to the ground and damaged many of the other buildings. The 1973 riot was the most severe of the two, and shortly after, the prisoners were moved to a more modern penitentiary south of Boise. And then on December 3rd of that year, the penitentiary was closed down, and then, guess what? Was placed on the National Register of Historic Places.
What? I would never have guessed that.
Conspiracy!
It's freaking true. Every single place. The National Register of Historic Places. Oh my God, what if you spell it backwards? Or do you like unscramble the letters?
Oh, maybe.
And it spells something and it's the real name of the cult that's
probably
designating all these places?
Mm-hmm. Someone look into this for us, please.
Corroborate our story.
Should I put this on the conspiracy subreddit?
Yeah.
And see what people say?
Yes.
That sounds great.
Do it.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Awesome. So that's Boise's penitentiary.
So the Old Idaho Penitentiary, of course, because, I don't know if because it's haunted, it's on the National Register of Historic Places.
It's because it's on the National Register of Historic Places.
Or if because it's on the register, then it's haunted. I don't know which one causes which.
Okay.
They're related, obviously. Yes. But it's haunted, of course.
Woo!
And, violent deaths, riots, burnings, bad things, bad people living there. It makes sense that it would be haunted. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you about some stuff.
Tell me about it.
My sources were travelchannel.com, idahohauntedhouses.com, hauntedhouses.com, ghostadventures.fandom.com.
So many sources.
Such sources.
Holy bananas.
Are you ready?
So ready.
All right.
Tell me.
Of course, this place is pretty famous. There have been many accounts of unusual happenings all over the prison complex, but House 5, the building where Snowden was executed, seems to be the most active. So many people speculate that Ray Snowden's spirit never actually left and has been haunting the grounds since that October morning that he was hung in 1957. So this is particularly hideous. Some people have even claimed to be able to hear his final agonized attempts to breathe.
No, thank you.
Just someone gasping, like...
That would be the worst noise to
horrible,
hear.
Disembodied, like gasping, someone struggling to breathe.
Fuck that.
And that's been reported, like, throughout the building. But particularly at the former location of the gallows. I hate it so much.
Let's go.
That's so horrible. So about a year after the prison was placed on our favorite National Register, it opened up for tours, and since then, guides and visitors have attested to feeling sinister feelings, hearing strange sounds, voices, and dark entities that they feel are lurking in the cell blocks of the Old Idaho State Penitentiary.
They're lurking.
Lurking, creepily.
Perfect.
All of the eerie activity tends to intensify near the solitary confinement cell dubbed Siberia. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the location of the former gallows. Other reports of paranormal stuff include feelings of unexplainable sadness, high levels of dread and anxiety that can't be explained from any normal source.
That's intense.
Some have reported being touched by unseen hands, hearing disembodied whispers, and flickering lights, which it's an old building. I could sort of see flickering lights just being kind of a thing that happens, but, it's more fun to chalk it up to ghosts.
Of course.
Okay, so now I have a bunch of firsthand experiences. Some of these came from people, like, writing comments on the Haunted Houses forums. And some of them came from different articles that I read. So one visitor from 2020 said that while they were there, they saw an old man who at first they didn't really notice or think much of until they saw him walk into a wall and disappear completely.
Oh, well, that caused some red flags.
A little bit. The same person also reported feeling like there were people around him, possibly following him. So just feeling like a presence was like following him throughout the building, and heard disembodied footsteps. Another visitor went with a friend, and they brought paranormal investigation equipment, including a Ouija board.
Why? Don't be fucking dumb.
They brought a Ouija board.
Dumb.
Do you think they used it?
Stupid.
They sure did.
Assholes.
They also brought an EMF detector. So they went into the room where death sentence inmates were hung, and after trying the Ouija board a few times, like the first couple of times it didn't work, on the third attempt, the EMF detector suddenly went off, maximum level, like all the way. And they said that the board started spelling out words that no one could really understand. So it was like darting all around the Ouija board. And it was spelling things that weren't English. They thought it was Latin, but they weren't sure because they're obviously not fluent.
Well, probably because it's a goddamn devil or demon's coming for you.
Because it's a demon.
Stupid ass.
They didn't really specify what happened after that, but it sounds like they basically pieced out shortly after.
Well, yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like, don't be dumb.
Don't be stupid.
Like, what did you expect?
Don't talk to demons with a Ouija board, you fuckers.
Stupid.
Yet another... I know. Horrible. Don't go to a haunted prison and use a Ouija board.
Seriously.
So dumb. Yet another visitor was visiting near Halloween in the early 2000s with their brother and girlfriend. At one point, while walking around the grounds, they looked up and into a tower and saw the bright, glowing figure of a man in the window.
Oh.
They were so instantly terrified that they ran from the grounds and to this day have not gone back.
Oh, shit.
Because there's a freaking glowing man
in
a window by himself.
Screw that. You didn't want to go up
away.
and investigate to see what's going on?
I would want to go see a glowing person.
Yeah.
But I also imagine that'd be pretty startling.
A little
so
bit.
I might leave too. It's hard to say. Maybe we'll find out.
I guess so.
Next Friday.
Are we going to leave at fucking 2:00 in the morning? Like, bye.
We're going to be like the people that ran out of the Conjuring house, like naked in the middle of the night, just screaming and never come back and leave all of our shit and just...
We won't be naked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's not do that.
So.
Okay. We'll keep our clothes on for that part. All right. So, a medium once went there with the Spokane Paranormal Investigation Group, which is apparently a group that does paranormal stuff. The medium's name was Jennifer Von Beren, and they went to the penitentiary to investigate. Jennifer reported that, quote, the majority of that prison had some seriously crazy stuff going on.
Oh,
end
did
quote.
it?
Right away, as they entered, they were greeted by a friendly female spirit named Cora.
There she is.
There she is.
She's coming back to haunt us, Snowden.
Which when I took these notes, I had no idea who Cora was, and then you mentioned he killed a woman named Cora.
360s all around in this fucking episode today.
Yep.
Here it is.
Here we are, another circle. Big ol' circle.
Such circles.
My favorite shape. All right. So Cora. Yes. Okay, so Cora, the friendly female spirit, showed them around the women's prison. So she was acting as a little tour guide.
Okay.
And she apparently told the medium that the crying the medium had heard earlier was from the spirit who had killed her baby. Do you remember anything about her baby dying?
She was a mom of 2. I don't know about a baby dying.
So... apparently this is so hard because it's literally all just one woman saying things and no one else can prove that it did or didn't happen.
And you can look up the history of
this you can
place and
learn who the people are and say things, but I don't know. So Jennifer then met their unofficial enthusiastic guide, a spirit called Harry, who stayed with her and popped in and out during the duration of their visit. In Siberia, the solitary confinement area, she talked to a spirit who was still in his cell. She claimed that she did some, quote, work with him.
Oh, she did? Did she?
Like therapy? Like, I don't know what that means.
Maybe to help him move on to the afterlife and not be stuck in his cell.
Yeah, because he was just, like, in there staying, I guess, and she said she worked on him. I guess. Okay. And then in the shower room, she said she saw the residual energy of a man being raped by several others and who was then stabbed to death.
That's aggressive.
And apparently there's records of that actually happening that I saw in a different article. I don't know how factual that is, but another article that I read said that there was an inmate who was gang raped and then stabbed.
Oh,
in the
good.
shower. So that's pleasant.
That's fun.
Yep. So she saw that, and then in one of the cell blocks, she talked to a man called Jake, who was polite and friendly.
Oh, how nice!
There's so many happy, helpful ghosts in this prison.
In this terrible prison.
So the rest of the paranormal investigation group also caught a lot of evidence, which of course made them very happy. One of the many successes was getting this spirit, Jake, to interact with them using the flashlight method. So asking them to turn the flashlight on and off. Harry, the spirit, also jumped in and had fun with the flashlights too.
Oh.
Both spirits answered yes and no questions of the investigators. And then in cell block 2, Jennifer was warned by a spirit to stay outside, so she did. Oh. She was given the vision of a big man who felt very threatening, and she said she was glad she didn't go inside because she was worried that something bad would have happened to her if she had. Mm-hmm. Yes. So they concluded it to be a very successful investigation. So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's what they say happened. So
perfect.
And then, of course, our favorite crew, Ghost Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
They went there.
Yeah, they did.
They apparently went there as their finale episode of season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I guess
real early.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't actually watch the episode, but I did find an article that summarized what they saw, so I'll tell you about some of the things.
Woo!
So when they first started doing their walk around the property, they heard disembodied screaming and also laughter.
No, I don't like
terrifying.
That combination.
It's a really bad combo.
I don't. Just hearing laughing. I don't.
It's so
like
sinister.
I don't like it.
Although sometimes we laugh so hard it sounds like we're screaming. Is that like scream laughing?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, coming from a disembodied source in a prison is one thing.
Yeah.
Laughing in your closet while we record is another. Also during the walk around, they interviewed a number of eyewitnesses. I don't know, it must have been people who worked there or something. And one of them reported having heard sounds of ghostly plumbing.
The fuck does that mean?
I can only imagine it's like pipes banging loudly.
Well, I mean, it's an old building, so you're gonna have pipes that are banging.
Whatever.
I don't think prisoners are down there fucking drumming on the damn pipes.
How do you know?
Woo! We got plumbing finally! Yeah!
Maybe
bitches, here we go!
Maybe it's the ghosts of all the inmates who were there before plumbing was brought to the building, and they're all freaking pissed, and they're like, we had to poop in a bucket, and now you guys have freaking toilets? Screw you.
Bitches, I'm gonna drum on this shit all night long.
Gonna bang on the pipes and wake everybody up.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Assholes.
I don't blame them. I'd be salty too.
Pipes.
Okay, so the same person who reported ghostly plumbing sounds said that when she reached into a cell to grab a picture of a past inmate to show the crew, she felt ghostly fingers going through her hair.
Oh, someone's stroking her hair
touched
like,
up.
Hey, come here.
Hey. Another woman eyewitness was pushed and then heard whispering and doors banging. These and other occurrences were so intense that they actually made the local news, which I think is pretty cool.
That's intense.
Local reporter Dan Hamilton had his own experience in the courtyard while accompanied by a news crew. A giant light was seen above a patch of flowers, and around that same time, he felt the pressure of a pair of hands bearing down on the sides of his skull. A ghost hunter who was with them took a picture of him in this position, and there was a large orb above his head.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Someone's squishing his head. And I think it's so creepy that they got an orb above his head at the exact moment. I'm assuming he told them oh my God, something's touching me, and they took a picture and there was an orb. So that's pretty
crazy.
Cool. Okay, so now during the Ghost Adventures investigation, at one point, Aaron was locked in the shower room, and a spirit was filmed taking a water bottle out of his back pocket. So it moved of its own accord, I guess, and came out of his pocket.
Oh. That's weird.
I don't know. Aaron also felt unseen, unfriendly presences watching him from in the shower room as well. So in the Siberia area, Nick went into a solitary confinement cell and recorded an EVP that said, "Hey, say what?"
Oh.
Hey, say what?
Hey.
That one made me laugh. Say what? The ghost is just huh? I love it. Static cameras also caught slamming doors. Then in Cell House Block 5, Zach stayed in Raymond's death row cell, so Raymond Snowden. A dark mist at one point stood behind him and touched his shoulder, which gave him like full body chills, and he like freaked out.
Of course he did.
Of course. Then in the Rose Garden, Zach was there at 3 a.m. and felt someone was giving him a headache. I don't really know how you can tell if someone else is giving you a headache versus just having a headache.
One.
But of course, the other investigator, Dan Hamilton, had the weird head pressure sensation in the same area. So if I had to guess, Zach was probably...
it would make sense because that was where the gallows were. So they're probably feeling like pressure from the others getting hanged.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I just think Zach was probably pretending because he heard about the other reporter who was there and was like, oh, someone's giving me a headache.
No.
But I don't know. I just think Zach's full of shit, but that's okay. Then at 4:30, Zach and company performed an experimental procedure called ITC, which stands for Instrumental Transcommunication. So I've never heard of this.
I've never heard of that. Have you? No.
Okay.
This is new.
Apparently, it attempts to capture ghost pictures by pointing a camera at a television that is connected to the camera via its video and audio jacks. You then record the TV screen for 30 seconds and then play it back frame by frame. I literally don't understand, like... You are filming the screen of a TV that has its audio and video connected to that same camera? I don't really know how that works. I have no idea.
If you're a technical person and know how this works, please let us know.
Yeah,
because that doesn't...
I sat and like puzzled over that for like 5 minutes and I couldn't wrap my head around how that would work. But apparently it's experimental, so maybe we'll have to do some extra research on that.
I guess so. Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
I don't know. So they apparently do that multiple times, and eventually they capture a somewhat clear image of a black, human-shaped figure from the torso up, which they, of course, believe to be Snowden himself. So,
that's interesting.
There's them ghosts.
There they are.
From Old Idaho.
If you're ever in the Idahoan area, go check it out.
Check it out, but don't bring a fucking Ouija board.
Don't bring a Ouija board. Don't be fucking dumb. That's just stupid.
Yeah. People. So, lots of stuff going on there.
Heck yeah, so haunted.
For our next segment, we've got a fun craft cocktail cult recipe for you tonight. All right, so tonight we are bringing you a recipe that I think Anna and I are going to make at our hotel stay.
Yeah, we are.
It's called the Black and Blue.
Ooh,
and
it looks so tasty.
Dude, the color is super appealing. But of course, it's got blue curacao, so it's
Curacao!
So, guys, you're going to have a champagne flute. And what you're going to do is pour a half ounce of blue curacao, and 3 or 4 dashes of grapefruit bitters into a champagne flute. Then you are going to top said champagne flute with champagne and garnish with, it says black raspberries. I'm pretty sure those are just blackberries.
Unless there is a black raspberry.
Maybe. Or maybe that's 2 names for the same thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Weird.
So, guys, try that out. Let us know if you do. We're going to try it out. It sounds delicious.
Yeah, it sounds delightful, and it looks so fancy.
It does look so fancy.
It's from my favorite, oh my God, chef.
There it is.
Got it.
The people who cook things.
Rachel Ray.
Oh, yeah, your Rachel Ray cookbook.
So much. Mm-hmm. She's just my favorite.
She's pretty great. So, friends,
that is Craft Cocktail Cult and the Old Idaho Penitentiary.
What was that place we just talked about? That one place. Yes. So, friends, if you've ever experienced anything paranormal or unexplainable or scary, we want to hear from you. Please send in any stories or also suggestions of places you'd like to hear us talk about on the podcast to our email, nightmarenation19@gmail.com.
Or come check us out on the social media. I am the one who runs all of social media, and I love talking to you.
She's the best.
I just love chatting. So check us out on Instagram, nightmare.nation19, or you can just check us out on the Facebook, nightmare_nation19. Leave a comment, like our pictures, interact with us, talk to us, because I like talking to you.
Do all that
shit.
Send
us a message. It'd be super cool.
You know what you shouldn't do, though?
Don't
use a Ouija board.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Don't be dumb.
Don't do it.
Don't be like the bitches who took the goddamn Ouija board into the penitentiary and then decided to get fucking freaked out and stop using it because they're fucking using a goddamn Ouija board.
In a place where a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
Where, like, evil people died.
Yeah.
It's such a bad idea.
It's just terrible.
So dumb. Yeah, don't do that.
Use common sense, okay?
Yep. Please stay safe.
It's a good thing.
Stay safe. Try our drink recipe. You know, don't have a seance.
Don't have a seance.
Okay. Till next time.
On that note.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.